Hello everyone and welcome back to Winders Model Farms. Today we're reviewing the Versatile 125 four-wheel drive tractor. This is the 2023 National Farm Toy Show toy. So not too old, and I was not able to pick one up when they came out, but I did pick one up in Louisville, Kentucky at the National Farm Progress Show, or National Farm Machinery Show, as well as some other toys. And as previously mentioned in our review of the 118 Versatile, I mentioned that we got this. We're going to do a review on it. So here is that review. First of all, the box. I always love these National Farm Toy Show boxes. They've got like a cartoon drawing with the toy farmer and then the tractor doing some field work. We got this out here on a disc in a cornfield, and just a sharp looking drawing. Kind of wraps around the corner of the box. I love how they do that. So you can kind of get the whole look there. It's a pretty cool how they do that. And it also kind of wraps around this way. The field keeps going here. So pretty neat. You can kind of see the whole picture of it there sitting. That being said, on this end, we do have a picture from probably the original brochure. You can see models 145, 118, and 125 four-wheel drive tractors. And we did a review on the 118 toy. And then this is the 125. And we actually have the 145 as well in this set. So we've got all three of the models now that would have been made. And then the image is from the sales literature in 1967, so that is pretty neat. Then the back of the box is going to be the same picture as the front, and the top we saw right there. And then your bottom is your standard. So let's get this thing out of the package and give it a review. So the first thing you're going to notice, if you've got the 118 or the 145, the first thing, at least in my mind, that jumped out to me was you're going to have a blue engine on here. It's in the drawing there as well, and we had a gray engine on these other models. And so I did a little digging on tractor data, and the 125 had a gasoline engine, and the 118 and the 145 had diesel engines. So that is going to be why you have a different engine in here than you have in the other one. And Ertl did a fantastic job here on actually putting a different engine in there instead of just changing the decal. So I'm going to give big time kudos to Ertl on this. So let's just look at that engine up close here. You got a lot of detail there. Kind of see up in there, bunch of detail. We flip it around, more detail up around that engine. And we've got our air breather coming off here, as well as we've got our exhaust coming out of the bottom, and then the two pipes meeting up into this exhaust stack. So pretty good detail on that engine. And one thing I'll point out too, if you look close, let's see if we can get it. You can actually see my hand behind here through the engine bay. So see my finger behind that engine. So this piece is actually a separate cast piece put into the casting, which is incredible because if you know anything about most die cast tractors, the engine is all part of the one casting, where this is like very realistic looking because that engine is set inside their separate cast piece, separate from the hood and the frame, which is just an incredible detail for a 1/64 scale toy. Just very unusual in a good way. Like I mentioned, the exhaust coming out down here and going up, and a bunch of detail in that exhaust pipe and all of that, all the way up. And then we've got this big old air breather with our air filter canister there, sticking off the top of that. And if you also notice, It's much different than our setup here on our 118. Much different setup as far as air breathers, exhaust, everything. So kind of see our 118 just kind of straight comes out of the engine, wraps around and up on each side, dual stacks, which I think the dual stacks look pretty mean. And there's a much shorter air breather, and this is going to be very similar air breather to what's on the 145, but the 145's exhaust on the toy that we have, as you can see here, more resembles this one. So interesting, different variations there. Continuing with this toys, we're going to see a National Farm Toy Show stamp 2023 on the bottom. We've got some detail here on our axle. Pretty good drawbar. So the drawbar goes underneath. You can see it's a separate casting piece. Runs and kind of attaches to our center point here. The hitch is going to be very small, so a higher detailed hitch. You're not really going to get an Ertl implement to hook into that, but it does look more realistic. 3-point on the rear as well. So you can see your 3-point raises and lowers. This piece also raises and lowers as well. That part of your 3-point. Now, the 3-point does, to me, appear a little goofy, like it hangs off the back too far. And I think that's just because the way Ertl had to make it and the size the plastic pieces have to be, it just naturally kind of sticks out a little more than maybe it should, unfortunately. And I think that gives it a little bit of a goofy presentation, but maybe the real one looked like that. I don't know. I've never seen one of these, but it kind of, my opinion, has a little bit of a goofy look how far that 3-point hangs back on there. Then we got the top here. You can see little plastic piece here, but it's textured kind of like a diamond plating look. And then we do have a hydraulic cylinder right there in the articulation joint. It's kind of hard to see it, but it does have a little cylinder piece in there. And you can see the articulation's not a ton on this unit, but it is some. When you kind of set it down, it leaves a little bit to be desired as far as how far it articulates. Just doesn't seem to be quite far enough. Same with our 118. But it does have a hydraulic cylinder, which adds some detail. Only on one side, which I imagine the real ones probably only had it on one side, being how small this 4-wheel drive tractor frame is. So I imagine that's why it only has it on one side. Next, moving up, tires and rims. I like the tires. Nice looking tires, good looking tread. Rims look nice, look like some nice clamp-on duals, good detail. And look at in there at those hubs, look at all the detail on your wheels in there. Bolt detail, just fantastic detail on those. So I think the tires and rims look really sharp. And you know, this is basically a prestige level model, even though it doesn't say it, I don't believe, on the box. But this one was a prestige, and so this is going to be pretty much same level of detail. We've got a handrail over here next to the cab, as well as our stairs going up. The cab looks great. One thing they did on these, they painted around the windows black, which really makes that cab pop. Makes those windows pop. Looks very realistic. Nice versatile decal above the slow-moving vehicle triangle on the rear of the cab there. And then you can even see here our steering wheel looks great. So good detail on the steering wheel. And then you can see here our seat is got 2 paint colors on it, red with a black cushion. So that's another nice detail instead of just going one paint color on the seat. We do get a nice 2-colored paint to make that seat look a whole lot more realistic. As far as the flooring in the cab, it kind of has a diamond plated look. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but it has that diamond plated look, as well as right here at the entrance of the cab as well. We also have, I believe that's where our fuel cap is, right there next to the cab. It may not be. There's also one over here. You can also see another handrail on this side, as well as a ladder, and you can kind of see that diamond plated floor in there. It's real hard to see with this camera, but with the naked eye you can see it. Brings us to the hood of the tractor. Pretty sharp looking. You've got some detail here, as well as a grill that is textured, a separate die-cast piece put in there. Not sure if it's plastic or die-cast. Feels die-cast, but it's nice and textured. Good headlights, Versatile logo, looking sharp. My cab is a little bit cockeyed on the roof. It looks like that just needs to pop down. It's like it's just not holding down all the way. But anyways, yeah, so that is nice. Cab roof, you get a little bit of an overhang. Front and back, looks pretty sharp. We've got the door handles painted, so that's another nice detail. And then a little handrail sticking off the side of the cab there. Door handle painted on this side as well. So overall, really sharp tractor. I guess I didn't mention Versatile 125 decals on the hood look good. There you go, 125. Very sharp tractor. Going to be very similar to this 118, but different in many ways. So if you like four-wheel drives or if you like versatiles, I think that this is something you need to add to your collection. Even if you've got the 118 or if you've got this, maybe add the 118 because they're definitely different. There's some different variations in the two, and enough that I definitely consider these totally separate models. A lot of times we just get a model with a sticker change where this is not the case. I mean, different engines, different exhaust, different air intakes make these two things totally different. Another thing, if you look at the 125 decal here, nice, just 125 in silver. If you look at the 118, we get 118 in silver, but it's got a black line around the silver, kind of in between the silver and red, where that is not going to be the case on the 125. So just a little interesting detail there as well. But yeah, one thing they did good too is they covered the screw holes in the casting here to kind of give it a cleaner look on the frame. So that's the 125. I think it's a great toy. I really think Ertl did good on these. Definitely a lot better than what we're used to for most 1-64, and I think the engine kind of sets that apart. So that's all I've got for you on this one. If you have this toy or if you like it, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you got. We got a light back here too. Didn't see that. Work light. Didn't mention that, but let me know in the comments if you got this or the other variations of this. I love reading the comments and hearing from you. Thanks for watching.